This is Clobbered. I'm Mark Webster. He's Mark Baxter.
Hello.
Fresco in London Fields in the BBE Store. Hence all the carnage and mayhem that's going on around us. You want some serenity though? Check these two guys. Andy and Corinne. Swing Out Sister, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Delightful to be here.
It is. I'm so pleased that you could. Not too much of a trip for you two, is it? You live over this way-ish, don't you, in London?
Around the corner. I often go swimming in the Lido just over the fields.
Do you?
Yeah. Not in the summer. I go in the winter more, because in the summer I'm in Stoke Newton Reservoir.
Are you? Is it a wetsuit kind of swim?
Oh, no. Wow. That's why I transferred to the Lido in the summer. But I can remember when that was a derelict squat.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Ken Livingstone and London getting the Olympics, that would have been gone now.
Are you a big swimmer, Andy?
I never go swimming. I don't believe we belong in water.
All right, so you've taken a moral stand.
I had my 25-yard breaststroke from when I was 12.
It's plenty.
Certificate.
That's enough, isn't it? It's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Far enough, isn't it?
No, it does terrible things to a man.
That covers everything. And it's there in case of emergencies, isn't it? So that's important.
Yeah, that's that.
We will be talking about this a little bit later on because it's a magnificent collection of this wonderful groups. We go to group because that's often people are split up of their life and times and career. But more importantly, we want to talk to you about your life and times in ensembles.
Whoa.
First of all, we got to defer to you, Corinne, on this one here, because you actually went and did clothes properly, didn't you, as it were?
Well, I wouldn't say properly. I kind of learnt more about the manufacture and making up of clothes when I left. I had too much fun when I was at St Martin's. We were going out observing. We were getting inspired.
Research. Research.
Yeah. The beetroot, as Mr Farley just mentioned, was up downstairs. It was beneath the textile department where I was studying. So if you stayed late or locked yourself in like we did when we were doing our degree show to finish the printing, you could hear the music all night.
Wow, that's the way to do it. So was that the first career thought then, to move into the garment world?
No. I wanted to be a singer. And my mum said, well, you'll never be a singer because you didn't practice your piano and you can't write songs and you can't play. But fast forward.
That's a Kit Kat. You go a long way.
So I thought, I'll get a sensible job then. I'll be a fashion designer.
Oh yeah, what the nice safe fruit life. Yeah, that would make perfect sense.
But I was thinking more like Sandy Shaw. She had her own label. Kathy McGowan, Twiggy, and then Diana Ross in Mahogany.
Yes.
Tracy.
All makes sense. Oh yeah, so so the two worlds come together. On that note, when did you two come together, Andy? What's the story?
Well, actually, the deal was we formed a band. We didn't intend to form a band, but we were making ambient, very chic, cool. We should have been a sort of underground, sensation, but Corinne kind of came along and spoiled it.
And ruined everything.
The reason she got in the band was because our thing in terms of fashion was always austerity. We none of us had resources. And so because she had an interlock or something, or had access to one, she could make polo necks. I was always, so we said, if you make us a polo neck each, we might consider you for the...
Is that the way you? Is that the way you?
It's all it took.
Oh.
Well, it was underpants, but I was doing all kinds of...
Hey, what?
I mean,
Not
it was a 360 deal.
Top to bottom, literally quite, yes.
It wasn't for Andy. After I'd set up my own label, La Palette, not been very good at the finances, went to do... a military service working for Courtaulds, who were one of the main suppliers of Marks and Spencer's, a lot of high street. I got to learn to use all of the industrial equipment there.
Wow.
So it was, after being at St Martin's, sort of poncing around for 4 years, this was the serious stuff. I mean, why didn't I learn to do this before I set up my own business? I had to go around the factories and check all the manufacturing. So the 5-thread overlocker.
Oh, it's an overlocker. You said that term wrong.
And flat lockers.
It was never going to be your career, though, let's be honest.
That would sew and cut at the same time. So I'd go in the scraps cupboard at lunch times and see how fast I could run up a polo neck jumper, a dress, polo shirts, underpants. I was swapping underpants with Julian at Street Sounds record for Street Sounds box sets. He was.
Taking it.
It's a fair deal, wasn't it? It's a fair deal.
I'd like to see, was this at the dark of night, or did you just hand them straight over a counter?
Oh no, he used to get free samples, so I'd do swaps with all the clothes I could run up. I was getting the.
Here's your pants.
Exactly.
Somebody was working at Sony. I made them a whole load of outfits. They were polo nets, I think, for the Sony box set. They were doing jazz releases, all the Blue Note
You
reissues.
were buying
and stuff.
records with clothes.
Yeah.
It's the
That's the way to do
The
it.
polo neck, it looks like it's probably more complicated
This is the
than
thing.
it is.
Because nowadays, it's like most things, it's very hard to imagine when there weren't those. But to buy a polo neck in Manchester in 1978, they were gold.
Yes.
Literally, if you could find a polo neck, you were dying out on that.
Because yours was the look. Going back there, obviously, Corinne's had this. What a silhouette you've had, so recognisable across the years. But you were a kind of smooth-looking ensemble, weren't you? Was that a very deliberate look you were going for?
Most of the look we were going for was it was always TV shows. It always came from TV shows, and I hesitate to say retro, but you get your style from somewhere.
Yeah.
What do they say? Life is seen in childhood, and then everything else is remembering that.
Right.
And so it was all from TV shows. I was Banachek. I wanted to be George Pepper in Banachek, and that was it.
It was a smooth.
It's not a bad thing to aim for.
No, not so.
I mean, he went on to run the 18, but he was.
I moved into me 18 years. That's
Exactly.
And I wanted to be Emma Peel, so of course I've got the perfect speed.
So it
here.
had that 60s vibe, didn't it? They're going right through it, didn't it? 50s, 60s vibe, didn't it? Yeah.
But that was the evocative. I mean, not because the music was so great as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millie Goldenberg.
Yeah.
Harry O, another one.
Yes.
That kind of look, which I found was very different to when we came to London. It was a very different experience because it wasn't. Ours was I hesitate to say more southern, but people dressed in London much more than they did there. It was just a very understated look to a certain way. You didn't dress.
Yeah.
And if you were seen to be dressing, that was considered. We don't do that.
It's
pretentious.
not too much, exactly. And it's interesting because, of course, this is that mod world.
Yeah, I love that, yeah.
It's because what you're talking about here are American shows. They're a few years older than you are at that stage.
Exactly.
So, that was forever what's happening.
You're always sort of trying to find that stuff by watching old TV series. I'm trying to think of the Bill Cosby one. What was that called years ago?
Oh, I Spy.
I Spy. That was massive for me. Massive for me. That
Yeah.
So they were some great sportswear and cardigans, and that was always the hunt for that stuff.
But the sad thing for me, because again, it comes down to money or lack of. And so we'd go to Hacienda, and in the early days of Hacienda, it was exactly that. It was everybody, it was empty. It was pop collectors and you and just 3 other people. But everyone who was in there, that whole raincoat sheet and everything.
Yes.
It all came from being freezing cold.
You had to wear your
Uniqlo, love, Uniqlo.
So in the early days of Hacienda, it very much looked like, Chris, it looked like we were already defect.
Yeah.
If the terms were right, we would defect. And you had all of that.
Not least of which it looked like an underground car park, which is where you do all your best defecting anyway, isn't it? Really?
Perfect
Yeah.
scene. And the later Hacienda, when all of the floppy t-shirts and floppy trousers and everyone's going to go, I was still doing that. So I'd regularly get people, coming past me goes, "Evening, officer." Because they were on the lookout for the drug squad. And they were convinced,
That would have been the worst undercover outfit. It's like you literally dressed like a CID officer in a nightclub, isn't it? It's like this is counterintuitive, isn't it? The big thing, it's always struck me, and I know it comes out in the music often, and I know it's the music you like. The Northern Soul look, big with you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I started going, funnily enough, I'll bring a little football tie in here, Blundell Park,
Yes, of
Cleethorpes, which is where I spent many of my, if everyone who watches this show would know about the Grimsby United beating, won't they?
Particularly what the Man City fan over there, who's smiling like a Cheshire cat.
That's how I've leant back.
Lovely.
Luxuriating in the moment, so he
I
is.
don't even pay any attention to football, but that was
And
like,
yet you knew that.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one got
Because I
through.
used to spend many a weekend on Cleethorpes Pier, all-nighters, which it wasn't the famous one. It wasn't Wigan or Blackpool Mecca,
Sure.
but because it was at the other end of the M62, all of those DJs used to come to Cleethorpes at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So there you'd be, and I couldn't afford to buy clothes, so I started making clothes then, like the 8-button wide
waistband, yeah.
trousers or a full circular skirt, and I even made a pair of shoes.
Really?
Wow.
Well, they were wedge-heeled sandals because I couldn't get any in my size because I take size 8.5.
Oh wow, good dancing for
Yeah, they were. They're good for doing slides.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Northern Soul look probably influenced a lot of what I wore, but I didn't particularly fit in with the others. It was my own take on it, and I realised what it was because I used to wear kind of knickerbockers or half-mast culotte things and jumpsuit with stripy socks and stripy t-shirts. And I think I was taking my cue from 19 magazine. They must have had somebody who spent a lot of time in LA, and I since realised that whole look was from the Lockers. I don't know if you remember. They were a dance troupe who were on Soul Train and somehow brought to the attention of the wider world by Mickey, what's her name? The girl who sang...
Tony Basil.
Tony Basil.
Oh, right.
She was a fantastic dancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they all used to dress in sort of golfers' outfits. They had
Yeah.
floppy caps,
Yeah,
striped
big hat
t-shirts,
Chelsea, yeah.
and they were doing they were called the Lockers because they were
So that early hip hop dancing, basically. Yeah.
kind of robotics and stuff. But they all wore the stripy tights and but I'd never seen them then. I've only seen it since. But I think somehow that had filtered into fashion that came from America to England, and so I was wearing that sort of thing for Northern Soul. I didn't quite fit in with the full 32-inch baggies.
I've got to say that I had the Blackpool Ponins holiday with my friends, and lots of Northern girls there, and the look, blazer, long pleated skirt, flat shoes. And that's straight out of that. There.
Yeah.
And for me, the female fashion of the Northern Soul scene far outweighs the male version.
Yeah. And the brogues, you had to either wear brogues or granny sandals, we used to call them. You could buy them from Timpson's, dye them with nylon dye and wear them with ankle socks, have odd colours, and they used to slide. They had very smooth, they weren't leather, they were smooth plastic.
The mess you left on those dance floors, filthy, dripping.
Oh no, it was the talcum powder.
Oh, lovely, because that all mixed up. It's like pudding by the end of the night. Exactly, with polish and talcum powder all mixed up everywhere. We're going to talk about the music in a second, but we can't ignore
The jumbo sale on the front of the side.
Exactly, that's right. We're not trying to knock this stuff out, are we? I mean, we're fibre republic.
No, you wouldn't be able to buy this anywhere now. But there's a connection here with the Northern Soul look. When we went to Japan, and this was, I mean, fast forward a few years, met Andy when we had our first day, but I got a Saturday job in Yoji Yamamoto because they couldn't find a boy. So I was I used to sell men's clothes and wear them. And
you kind of basically modelling the very small clothing that Yamamoto would have been selling.
Oh no, he used to do sort of oversized jackets and those deconstructed things.
That's true.
But I realised where a lot of the Japanese designers, and this is like the Northern Soul trousers.
Wow.
These are called tobi shoku.
I'm going to talk about the front here.
They're called tobi shoku, and I'm wearing a cut-off pair right now. But
they are amazing.
And a lot of designers went mad for these.
I'm not going to get in then.
But the
so close.
But the Japanese workmen wear these. So
that's workmen's trousers.
Everybody
that
we've worked with in Japan feels like I've got a Japanese workman's fetish, but it's because these trousers go back to the days of the ninja firemen who used to put out fires in the wooden buildings, and you can do the splits in these trousers.
Yeah.
They're so baggy.
Well,
and
you might be able to.
They could.
They're amazing.
You see them all in the street working, not wearing that.
Well, military wear, workwear.
Love it.
It's the best stuff.
Government service, army service.
These gears the same. You know, you look at all the compressors and various things. They're all EMI stuff from military, for radio.
Really?
In war zones, yeah. And they're made like tanks.
So everything's khaki in your studios. Yeah.
We wish we could afford it.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love that. Okay, so item number 2, please, if you would.
Well, there's another pair of tobi shoku there, but this one, my friend's dad, Mr. Len Annis, worked on.
I'm definitely going to need to do the honours on
You
this,
will.
aren't I? Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
You in there?
Trust me, if he could, he would.
He worked on the Thames. He worked at Billingsgate,
These are.
and that's an original Port Authority of London.
Port London for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the.
I know.
Look at the material.
Oh, I'm looking.
I
So good.
So it's Portland and Upper right?
Port London, yeah, Port London for yeah.
I mean, even that is perfect. It's
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to see it any other way, would you?
Brilliant.
Beautiful. And I'm a big fan of government surplus, army surplus, any kind of workwear. When we did our first Top of the Pops, you have that dilemma, what do we wear? My grandma, do and mend, she used to, stitch up everything and mend stuff. I just had a black shiny mat that had been, that bought from Lawrence Corner.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, I'll wear that. It was raining.
The guy who used to have this, he was my style guru for a while because he had that Chris file, Michael Caine.
Right.
And he had the voice as well.
Oh,
Andy.
perfect.
I don't know what the context was, you'll remember, but so he looked the part and he was telling me what's the story of he'd had to have a chat with someone and he came out with the phrase, "You want to round up your education, son."
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So threatening, isn't it? But no, such simple words at the end.
Oh,
Say so much.
He
Right.
probably knew Michael Caine, actually, because if he worked at Billingsgate, didn't
yeah, his dad was there, wasn't he? I knew Michael did a while, yeah. He was there for a while, yeah.
Definitely would have overlapped. Right, let's get some product placement done. I'm going to leave
Move my glass over there.
this out here.
We were trying to cover it. This is the way we promote it. So we want to cover it with fabric.
So we can't- What was obviously you? So how long have you two been at Swing Out System? It is literally decades. I realise.
Abacus.
Quite bring himself to say 40.
40.
Don't say that. Just say 4 decades.
45.
45.
It's 4 decades.
4 decades.
And we're still speaking just about.
Which is great.
No, that's always a bonus, isn't it?
Just for the purposes of broadcasting, which thank you very much for that. But continuous, isn't it? This is the thing: is that you two are always making music, aren't you?
Yeah. We don't get time off for good behaviour at any point. No. That's been,
We've slowed down a bit, probably. We used to do something, another album every 2 years, but you don't really need to do that. How many albums do you need to make?
Oh.
We've done about 11, 12, and this box set covers from 1994 to 2004, which is our kind of wilderness years, isn't it?
the ones you didn't know you didn't want.
But you had to plough through that 30 years just to get them out of the
It's
way.
that thing that you do notice that there's people who are in, oh, really, you're doing that? And then gradually, as the years pass, you don't notice they've all gone away.
Yes.
And you're just there going, oh, sorry. It's a long time to make this.
So we're hearing stuff on here that we won't have heard before then?
Oh, yes.
Very much so, yeah?
Yeah. Very few people have heard any of this.
There's 2 albums that were only released in Japan. So while we were going a bit quiet over here, we were doing things in faraway places and still travelling the world. And so there's 2 albums released in Japan only, 1 album released in America only, and then some collaborations done with various things. It sounds very industrial here, doesn't it? I think I'm going to get my...
Very much.
Put them on and join in.
Get round and do some stop stewarding.
Yeah, I've got my monkey boots on, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I noticed them, yeah, lovely.
So as we speak, this is, it was nice to see a CD package. What's the format? So I guess we've got to do that now.
Yeah.
What's it available in?
It's available on CD.
CD only.
CD only, and there's some illustrations here as well, because we thought
That's nice.
if people have got the
lovely.
originals, which is kind of...
Oh, these are lovely, yeah.
Fans and collectibles.
Fan them out.
We'll
Feed them out.
do a cutaway on this in a minute, yeah? Good man. I literally just said out loud what people are literally watching now. Because it'll look nice when we do that.
Yeah.
No, there is no. It's just CD. It's not. Well, I think because we've done it on CD, I think they are released to streaming to Spotify.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so tactile.
This is kind of. It's an artifact.
As indeed. Do you know, that sentence very nearly ended up, as indeed you two. But which I kind of meant, you people have got a sense of tradition, and that's kind of me trying to get myself out of jail as best I can.
Throw him a rope ladder. Throw him a rope ladder.
We're all a good vintage.
Yeah, we are. That's it, we are.
Let's use that word.
Let's use that.
And let's get out of here hastily before I say anything else untoward. Andy, Corinne, swing our sister, Mr. Baxter, with